Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video going to be doing an update on GPU mining. So this will be for August of 2023. Going to go through what's been going on, what's been happening, what the outlook is like, and just strategizing, right? So we're going to talk about different things, what's been working, what hasn't been working, and what to look forward to, right? So if that sounds good, guys, stay tuned, all right? So let's get to it. So officially back, right? It's been more than 2 weeks, right? Had to travel for work, so I've been out, but I am back home and loving all the action that's been going on, right? So this is going to be the main spiel with the video is just we're having like another bull market for GPU mineable coins. It's been insane. We've been crazy spoiled. We've been making money, right? For those of you guys who have been following the strategies, doing your things, mining, it's been profitable, right? So, two trains of thought though, right? Certain people mine and they sell at the end of the month, or they sell daily. They sell to pay their electric out of pocket. If you're in that camp, hasn't been too hot, right? Yes, you're profitable, but let's say on a 10 card rig, making 80 cents a day, not too hot, right? But for those of you who pay your electric out of pocket and you've just been holding the coins, waiting for a good time to sell, crazy profits. Like this bear market, it's been nothing but profit taking. This is pretty much after the ETH merge, right? If you've been in it, you've been doing it, there's been profit taking opportunity since the ETH merge. Like literally, it's freaking crazy, right? But mainly benefiting those of you who are mining and holding, right? Or like in my case, yes, I'm mining, but again, my GPUs, I'm only down to like a little 10 card rig. I've actually primarily been buying. That has been way more successful than it has been mining because I'm on such a smaller scale, right? Those of you with like 100 plus GPUs, it's easier for you to just jump on the coin, line them up, stack up coins, and do that thing. But if you're on the smaller end, right? Like for example, me or a lot of at-home miners, I'm mining, but on top of that, I'm also buying when it's an opportune time to do so, right? Now that's kind of controversial. A lot of people are like, "Oh no, you're a miner. You can only mine if you're an investor." You do both, right? Why limit yourself? Why like have that mindset like that? Your mindset should be to stack coins, right? Whether it's buying them, mining them. Do whatever you can. Look at the opportune times. Take advantage. This is the bear market. This is that time, right? This is when you want to stack your coins. Don't limit yourself to that mindset. Oh no, I only mine. I'm not going to invest. You've been missing out on huge gains if you're limiting yourself with that mindset. Okay, look at projects, look at the appeal, look at the opportunity, right? Don't throw these opportunities down the toilet. Everybody's looking back like, oh, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that. How about you do it? This is that time, guys. This is the bear market. This is when you want to stack. Okay, and it's up to you. None of this is financial advice. But if you're scared to invest, you ain't gonna get that money. Okay, if you want to get in here, make things happen, there's been so many opportunities. Like literally, if you're mining and holding, at one point or another, sometime within the past 10 months, everything has had a decent little pump, with a few exceptions. We'll cover those here at the end. But anyways, talk about dynex, right? Crazy little pump, right? So if any of you guys got in early, right, back in January, back in February, back when it got listed, like for those of you who follow me on YouTube, if you look at the little community posts I put on a lot of them are regarding listings when they get listed on like TXBit, right? That to me has been a huge winner, pretty much making it super easy. Once I'm convinced that the coin's not a scam, buying a little bag, like when I say a little bag, I'm saying only like 100, 200 bucks, and just hanging on to it and waiting for it to go. Like literally, there's been so many 10Xs, it's stupid. Right? My only regret is not putting in more money, but at the time, I don't mind if 200 bucks, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. But in this case, there's been so many like 5, 6, 7, 10Xs just from doing that, right? So you don't even have to put 100 bucks. Even just putting in 50 bucks, and if the coin does a 12X, that's freaking $600, right? But at the same time, it's if you're taking profits, if you're not writing it up and then writing it back down, right? That to me has been a game changer. And that's just taking profits, like getting in that mindset of building a game plan, sticking to that game plan, and just executing, right? Taking the emotion out of it. That to me has been a huge game changer. That was one of my biggest regrets in the last bull market, is not being more aggressive with taking profits. I was fairly aggressive, and luckily I did what I did and a lot of it worked out, but I regret not being more aggressive and selling like 90% of it instead of like the 50, 60, 70%. Right? But that's one thing that I definitely changed. And so far, it's been stupid how profitable things have been, right? Especially for GPU miners. And again, not even necessarily mining it, but like GPU mineable coins, right? So again, dynex is one example, the latest example. Me personally, I picked up down here, I hit that 10x mark, and I dumped, right? For me, dynex isn't necessarily a super long-term hold, just because of all the stuff going on with it. Watch Mind Something's videos if on dynex, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, not gonna get into that. There's one example, right? Another one, Octaspace, right? Again, this is one that recently, okay, even just as of a few months ago, back in June, it was at 16 cents, okay? It's only 2 months ago. Currently at 82 cents, okay? So if you mine during any of these times, and then prior, CoinGecko only has it up till April. Those of you guys been in it, it's been farther back than that, right? If you guys mined during that time, held on to it, good time to sell. Take those profits, right? Wasn't necessarily super profitable at the time, probably just a little more than break even, but now is when all that you stacked, good time to be taking profits, right? Yet another example. This is another small coin, Murai, XNA. Okay, we go back on the charts. Same thing, even just recently, right? They only go back till mid-June. It's done like a 3x since then. So even if one, you saw it, it was new, let me mine it for a little while, you held on to it, it's an easy 3x, right? It's just crazy. Like everything's going on like a little surge. Another example, Kyla coin. This is not one I have ever mined. I bought it though. Right? For those of you guys, again, who follow this little community post, I try to, whenever I hear chatter about something, I post up, right? This is one that I just bought. Okay, back in the end of May, June, it went down to 30 bucks. Okay. It recently hit, what is it? Almost $600, right? So if you bought even just a couple of coins, a 20x in a matter of months, it's just crazy, right? I had bought in back before then. Volume was really small back when it was listed on TXBit, right? The volume was literally so small. The liquidity was, sometimes it'd be like 50 bucks, it'd go up to 100 bucks, back down to 50 bucks. And I was just flipping at that point. I started at 50, went to 100, sold it, went back down to 50, bought two more, just kept doing that, right? And then when it went down to 30 bucks again, same thing, I picked up, right? I sold super early though. I didn't get it up here. I sold it down here. But again, a 10x is a 10x, right? At this point, yes, you miss out on the potential here. So if you think it's good long term, you think it'll continue to go up, then hold some. Not in that mindset with this coin necessarily, right? So again, buying cheap, getting that 10 to 12x, and then putting it into another coin, which I think will do a 10x in the bull market, right? So just continuing to add on. Chlor was another one. Didn't make that much of money, but comfortable with a 3x, right? Putting in 100 bucks, turning it into 300, and then same thing, putting it into another coin that I think will go up. Or a lot of you guys, you know, stack your bag with like BTC. It's another good strategy, is take profits here, go over there. Or some people like to just take their initial investment out and let the rest ride. That's another thing, right? For me, again, if it's a coin I believe in long term or has good potential, the tech is good, it's proven, then I'll do that, right? Like for me, one would be like a lithium. This is one where the tech is good, the development's good, and it's had a nice little run also, right? This is one that I would hold long term, and I am. I do have a little bit, I don't have much. This is one I'm going to continue to mine and continue to hold because this is one that could potentially be something, and the market cap is a lot smaller. This is another reason that I was okay with selling Dynex, because at this point, it's brand up a whole lot already. It's 343, right? So it's gone up. It doesn't have the potential necessarily as like a lithium, which is ranked a lot lower, right? Market cap's a lot lower, so it has a lot more potential to do those another 5x, another 8x, another 10x, right? The likelihood tends to increase more. So these are just recent coins right here, right? So this is the second little bull market. The first one being this initial run, right? Lithium, Radiant, Nexa, those also had a crazy run, right? Especially for those of you who bought early. For those of you of my early subscribers, you saw those videos I was doing back in November talking about Radiant, talking about kaspa, talking about the strategy of buying a bag versus mining it, because you would accrue so much more by just buying it instead of mining it. Because again, I'm on a smaller scale. If you're a guy who has like 100 plus GPUs, then yes, you'll stack up coins fairly quick. But if you're on the smaller end, you may want to mine it. And if it's a good opportune time, you may want to buy it as well, right? Like for example, when I had bought the kaspa, it was at a loss to mine. So I was going to get more coins by buying it versus mining it. And that's why I did what I did. So you have to think of those things. You have to think of the potential, right? But let's look at like a lithium, the run they had. Again, it was in February, it was under 10 cents. Hit a max of what, 40 cents. That was a good 4x, right? This is the initial bull run. These is the newer coins that have pumped, but these is the old guard, right? Another one that had a huge pump. I know a lot of people have been complaining about this guy not pumping recently, but you got to consider the pump that it had already, right? Again, I bought this and kaspa at the same time back in early October, okay? Once I hit a 13x, I sold all of mine and again reinvested. Actually, that's what I bought my FPGAs with, the money I made from Radiant, right? Did it continue to go up though? Did I miss on those gains? Yes, 100%, right? This thing freaking almost another 2x on top of where I sold at, right? But again, I didn't get greedy. I had my game plan and invested it into more hardware, okay? So I'm okay with it. And this is the thing, is that that's what I have learned, is that as soon as you make that game plan, I see my gains and I have plans for it in the future, I'm comfortable with that. Because yes, I might have missed on the 2x, but then by reinvesting into a coin that I think will do another 10x that I'm more convinced on, it's crazy, right? You're multiplying that money by doing that, right? But again, it's from taking the emotion out. A lot of the times, I know that's definitely the problem I had in the bull market. Like, oh man, what if it continues to go up? What if I continue to miss that? It's a silly mindset to have when you've already made a 10x on it, right? And that greed is what kind of held a lot of people back, including myself, right? I got my first taste of that back on that initial SHIB run, right? Back early when it pumped, I was sitting on like a freaking 9, 10x. I was like, no, it's going to continue to go up. And I freaking rode that thing right back down. Did I still make like a 2x or something? Yes. But like, I missed out on all those potential gains, right? So I kind of learned that pretty early on, but I did continue to make that mistake throughout the bull run. You know, getting fixated on, you know, BTC hitting 100K and it's going to continue, instead of just taking profits. Okay, like that's going to be my strategy definitely for this bull market. Is the way I'm DCAing in now, I'm going to be DCAing out, right? I already have like price points in mind for when I'm going to start taking out. Okay, once it hits this region, obviously it's going to change as we get closer because we'll be able to readjust. But I'm already having that mindset as to what to prepare for, right? But again, if it's a coin I believe in long term, then I'm going to just maybe take a few profits. Or maybe if I'm convinced it's going to dump, maybe do something, then I'll do there, but I'm going to hold, right? But I made my mind up way back in October, November as far as which one I was going to hold, right? And that was kaspa, right? For me, that's the one I did decide to hold, and I'm going to continue to hold. Am I taking profits here and there? Yes. Am I dumping all of it though? No, right? Because I do think it has great potential, just like I did back in October, right? Again, for you guys who caught those videos, I was convinced even back then of the tech, right? But it's from having that plan in place and executing on it, right? So ultimately though, RXD has been down, but if it goes back to all-time highs, which I think at one point eventually will, may it happen anytime in the next 6 months? Maybe. Will it happen in the bull market? Most likely, right? Hopefully beyond that. Okay, so these are opportune times you want to look at, right? Again, is this one I'm going to hold long term though? No, but am I mining and I'm stacking it right now? Yes, right? This is one of the coins that I'm mining currently with my FPGA, with that Molt miner. And I've been stacking it, right? And this is one that it's kind of funny because I treat Radiant like crap, right? Like I dumped all of it, had no issues, no emotions tied to it, and it just continues to be profitable for me. Like it's almost like a redheaded stepchild. Like I treat it so bad, but it treats me so good, right? So it's one. Maybe it'll go back up, maybe it won't, but I'm good with what it's currently mining right now. Right, another one from that first bull market, Nexa, and it's down a considerable amount, right? It's essentially, if we look back at this chart, it's back at the prices it was back in January, right? This is another one that at that peak hit about 35, so it's what, like a good 4x, right? It's down a good chunk, okay? But same thing, it's like one of those that you could potentially hold. Maybe it goes back to here. If you believe in it, maybe it doesn't, right? Me personally, it's not one I'm have too much faith in, right? And of course, the biggest one, kaspa, right? For me, this actually is now my biggest holding period. My biggest holding, it's my biggest gainer out of every coin I've ever invested in already, right? And it's crazy because some people have asked me, oh, what do you think it'll do in the bull run? It's already beyond what my bull market prediction price was. I'm fairly conservative with my price points. I try to like be a little more on the pessimistic side. Obviously, I'm trying to be optimistic, but I'm trying to be more of a realist. This actually is beyond what I was hoping for the bull market back when I purchased, right? So it's been an extreme gainer, and I think it's going to continue to go up. Like it's insane, right? Currently, I am going to take profit if it reaches a little bit more, only in the anticipation that it's most likely going to correct here in order to just rebuy, essentially, right? Will it happen? Maybe. If it doesn't, I'm okay with the profits I made from it. I'll reinvest it into something else, right? So again, that's part of having that game plan, but for me, this is one that I actually am holding, right? So again, we've had two bull markets throughout this bear market for GPU coins, right? This was the first guard, and those first coins is the new set right now, right? It's been insanely profitable if you're in that mindset, right? If your goal is to mine and pay your electric out of pocket and wait for those ideal times. Again, if you've been mining and just selling at the end of the month, hasn't been too hot for you, has not been a good time, right? So again, you have to think of those things. So if you're in that boat, maybe it makes more sense to reduce how much you're mining so you can cover whatever you can out of pocket and just hang on to that. Those have been the best gainers, right? Again, it's been nothing but profit taking this whole freaking bear market. It's been crazy to me, and the fact that everybody seems to be so negative, I don't really see it. Maybe because I started my channel during the worst time, so most of you guys who are following are in the same mindset, right? And I think maybe that's why I'm not seeing the negativity. I guess it depends on your community, right? But for me, it's been freaking amazing. Like, this is not what I was expecting for this bear market at all, right? Pretty much I was expecting just buying, waiting for those extreme dips, both in hardware and coins, but it's been, in reality, nothing but opportunity, right? If you've been here, you're following, you're researching, literally, like, look at all these coins, man. It's a list of like 8, 10 coins that at one point or another, if you mined them and held them, have had like anywhere from 4 to 20x potential, right? Amazing, right? Whether you're mining or buying. Again, I've been buying more than anything, okay? So get out of that mindset. I'm a miner only, I won't buy. Opportunities, guys, right? And to me, the biggest indicator is when a GPU only coin, GPU mineable only coin is at a loss at a 10 cent kilowatt hour with an efficient card like a 3070, probably a good indicator that it's time to buy, right? So like for kaspa, for example, when it was at a loss to buy and I was buying, obviously was a good time to buy. Same with Radiant, it was barely profitable. Made more sense for me to be able to stack the equivalent of what would take me 5 to 6 months to mine all in one shot, right? Which in reality is only a couple $100. Okay, this is extreme profit potential by doing that, especially if it's a coin you see potential in. Okay, if you get in early, that's how we've been able to find these. Okay, so So now let's talk about the coins that have not been doing well. Okay, so for those of you guys hell-bent on mining at a loss, right? Which is one that, again, I like Flux, right? I'm a big buyer in it. I have a decent sized bag, but it's one I have actually never, ever mined. I've only purchased because pretty much the entire time it's been at a loss, right? Ever since the merge. Prior to the merge, different story. After the merge, it's been at a loss pretty much the whole time. So it's one that I buy, definitely wouldn't mind, right? Especially not now. And then look at the chart, right? We did have that little run up. I regret not selling more. My sell orders were like at $1.10. It didn't make it to the dollar, right? So none of those filled. So I was doing it with the anticipation of it dipping again, right? And currently, look at this chart, man. Ever since that run up, which was prior to the halving, it's just been on a downward trend, right? So you're already mining at a loss. And then it's even exaggerated because, again, it just continues to go down. So it's an even greater loss. You would have stacked so much more coins by just buying, right? Again, I know that's a sensitive topic for a lot of y'all, but you need to get out of that mindset and figure out how you're going to stack the most amount of coins. That should be the end goal, right? Support the projects, I get it, but stack your coins, right? Something to think about there. Another one that has been doing well, Ergo, right? And it's kind of funny that these are the like legacy coins, I guess you could say, right? And they've just been on that downward trend, right? Ultimately, though, because the hash rate has been going down, it's gotten to the point where both of them, right, Flux and Ergo, depending on your electric rate, has been almost break even, right? So even if you do believe it, as long as you're break even or better, hasn't been too bad. But if you're at a loss, you definitely have been better just buying, right? Just something to consider. The other one, Raven, same exact story, right? Again, so the biggest thing has been these newer coins, right? It's just been the hype, the building, and just that's what mining brings, right? You establish that community, people get in early, a lot of yield, they stack, and that's how you build that community, and that's why these have been thriving so much, right? I'm sure there may be more to come, right? But again, you have to really think about whether it's a long-term hold for you or you're going to wait to a certain threshold, sell, and then go into another coin. You have to think about these things, right? Like, what is your end term? Okay, and again, like I've mentioned, for you guys with those little posts, is just pretty much looking on whatever gets newly listed on TXBit, right? That's been the biggest thing for me. It's like, oh, what is this coin? Oh, what is this coin? What is Kyla coin? What is XNA? Doing a little research, like, okay, it's a GPU mineable coin, just started. It's super cheap right now. It just went up for sale. Let me buy a little bag. Let me throw $100 in there. And that's what happened with XNA. That's what happened with Chlora. That's what happened with Kyla. Like literally, just throwing $100, turning it into profit, just doing the thing, right? Is it going to continue? Maybe, maybe not, right? Again, look into that coin, research the coin, hop in that Discord, see what you feel about it, right? Certain things are intriguing. Like the one with Kyla coin that got me was the limited supply. The fact that there's only 21,000 and that I could pick some up for $30. I was like, worth a shot, right? It worked. Okay, so again, is this going to happen for everything? No. Are a lot of these going to be scams? Sure. Right? Like, for example, Pepe Proof of Work or Sky Doge and all these. I'm not saying they're scams, but it's not necessarily a coin I would hold long term, right? Maybe buy a little bag. Me personally, no. Anything that meme-ish, unless it's a heavy meme, unless it's a meme that's going to go big, like Pepe when that came out, it's one thing, but like the Pepe Proof of Work, it's not going to get mainstream attention, right? So think of your things there, but essentially, it's been so many freaking opportunities, right? It's just like mind-blowing. Another thing to factor in, another question has been with like kaspa, like people putting these crazy price predictions, like, oh, it's going to hit $5 and all this. Am I bullish on it? Yes, definitely, 100%. You got to be realistic though based on the market cap. And I think, again, a lot of the problem was the listing on CoinMarketCap, and that's why I'm using CoinGecko right now. I think a lot of people got in that mindset like, oh, it's in the 200s. I don't know, maybe, maybe not, and then not really looking into the market cap of the coin, right? Again, I was watching some of the old videos. I watched one back in November that I did about kaspa, and even at that time, that's actually around the time it did officially crack the top 200. Okay, at that point on CoinGecko, it just cracked like it was right when it was under a penny. It was like 0.009, and it cracked like 185. So this is back in November of last year that it was already in the top 200. So this is going on for like what 9, 10 months that CoinMarketCap refuses to put them in the top 200. So I think that's why even as of like 3 months ago, people are in the mindset that, oh, it's in the top 200. I'm not too sure. I'm not too convinced. And then now magically everybody's convinced. Like, oh, yeah. But... And I think a lot of it has to do with that, with the fact that everybody's looking at that listing versus going on CoinGecko and realizing that, oh man, no, it's actually in the top 150, top 100. Because that's what was kind of like getting me weirded out when a lot of the other content creators are like, oh, I'm not too sure about it. It's like, bro, the coin's in the top 80. Like, but again, I think it's because of that listing, right? Where they had him at over 200 for way longer than it should have been, right? Again, back in November, it had already cracked the top 200. Okay, so that's why those of us who have been following it kind of look at it like, what do you mean you're not convinced? But now, different story, right? People are really talking about it. People are really looking at the market cap and where it's actually at. And now their, their tunes and their opinions are completely changing, right? But so speaking of the market cap though, this is why realistically, bull market prediction, again, I'm not a moon boy. I'm not trying to do any of that. My personal prediction, somewhere between 16 to 20 cents, right? Can it go way higher? Sure. But you have to factor in the market cap and that fact that it's going to take a lot of money to get this thing to even do another 2x from here, right? For it to go to 10 cents, it's going to take a lot of money, right? Is it possible though? Sure. Is it possible in the bull market we crack the top 10? Considering the freaking crazy pace it's been going, wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world, right? Especially because of the emissions schedule. Like, it's so many things. And this is what had me bullish back in November, right? A lot of this stuff was out back then, right? We knew looking in the future, looking at the emission schedule, what it would be in the bull market. And that's what had me super bullish. Like, holy crap. But let's look at it, right? This is a website I've mentioned quite a few times on the older videos. For any guys who aren't familiar, thecoinperspective.com, right? It makes it super easy visually to see how much upside it could have if it goes up to a certain point, right? So you put in kaspa, and then it'll compare market caps of other coins, right? So it makes it super, super easy to see the potential, right? So if this thing were to crack, let's say the top 20, let's say it gets to like AVAX's market cap, right? At this point, it's only not only, I mean, that's a big jump, but it's a 342% increase, right? So it's like a 3.5, 4x for it to get up to like AVAX, right? Is it possible? Yes. But again, even if it does break that barrier, it's only that much of a percentage gain, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's just comparing it with these others that have way more potential. They have, 10, 15, 20x potential. You have to factor that in. But again, people have this mindset that kaspa is this tiny coin and like, oh yeah, it's going to go to $4. Not very realistic, right? Like, it would have to go crazy. Like, even if it goes up to $4 here, they have to beat Tether's market cap. And this is another thing to factor in also though, right? We still have to factor in what's going to happen in the bull market, right? So it's going to do that much of a gain if it reaches, but this is on current numbers, right? But if we're projecting that AVAX might have a $30 billion market cap, right? Then you have to adjust those numbers, right? So the things you got to think about, you got to consider. Another good resource I have for doing like price predictions, not necessarily price predictions, but where I think it may go is comparing it to the previous bull market, right? Looking at, a peak time during that bull market. And where is it? There it is. So this is the Wayback Machine, right? Which is a web archival tool. You can put in a website, and you can go back in time, right? It takes like a snapshot and you're able to see what it was. So this is one thing I like doing, right? Is going back to CoinMarketCap back during the peak and looking at what certain market caps were at, right? So like, what did it take to crack the top 20 back in the prime of the bull market, right? So for example, this is November 11th. This is when BTC was at 64.5, right? So in order to crack the top 20, Algo at the time was number 20. It was at a almost $12 billion market cap, right? You figure kaspa just hit $1 billion. So if it were to crack the top 20, it would be a 12x, right? And this is previous bull market numbers. Who's to say that this doesn't go another 5x? Maybe to crack the top 20 now, you're going to need a $50 billion market cap, right? So that's when the numbers go like astronomical and that potential goes there. And those are the things you do got to take into account, right? Is it possible? Yeah, right? And that's why you want to have exposure to certain things. Look at your risk tolerance. What do you think is going to go up? Would I go 100% into kaspa? No, right? You want to look at your bets, see what you think really does have the potential to possibly redo what it did in the previous bull market and go beyond, right? Because also, as we have seen, just because it hit this amount in the previous bull market doesn't mean it's going to hit that in the next one, right? There's been plenty examples where it hits nowhere near that. In some cases, half of that. In some cases, a fraction of that, right? The ones that come to mind are like Litecoin, Dash, right? We compare it to previous cycles and it didn't hit those all-time highs again, right? So is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Just depends on your outlook on that project, right? So if you do see something into it, you're in that ecosystem, you see the potential, go for it, right? Think about those things. Again, this is the bear market. This is the time to be accruing, to be stacking, right? It's the whole theme of the channel, mining stacker, right? Stacking coins, stacking hardware. Like I've mentioned, this is that time, guys. We're in that bear market. This is the time to be stacking, right? We all heard of those videos. We saw those RPM videos back when things were cheap and we're in the mindset, oh man, if it ever got that cheap, I would stack. This is that time, right? So get in that mindset. At the same time, are we going to have another dump? It's up to you, right? You have to analyze the market, get your game plan in, get your opinion in. Don't just base it off of any one person, right? So I encourage you to watch people all over the place. Watch the Moon Boys, but also watch the Bears, right? Pick what you think is going to happen and go from there. Establish that game plan. Establish which coins you're into, what potential you think they have, and go from there, right? Again, you got to be in it to win it. And this is that time. If you want to get in, DCA, right now is a good time, especially for these bigger cap coins, right? Think about those things, okay? But so far, yes, daily profit has not been too hot, but again, the big theme is if you're into that coin, mine it, hold it. When that opportune time comes, that's when you want to sell, right? Again, we've been super spoiled in this bear market that we've had these crazy opportune times, right? We kind of got a glimpse of what the future may hold with these little bull runs, right? Again, with the previous one with like Radiant, Nexa, kaspa, Lithium, and now currently with like Kyla, Dynex, Octa. Like it's a lot of potential, but again, you gotta be in it to win it. You're just sitting on the sidelines crying like, oh, it's not profitable. You're wasting opportunity, right? Look at all the opportunity that's been there. Nothing but profit-taking potential if you've been in it, right? Pay attention to these things. Watch them. Again, like all these new listings on TXBit, follow their Twitter. Every time on Twitter, they always do a post when they're going to list something new. That has been like a huge indicator, like, oh, that's why I figured out this thing with like BlockX, right? People are talking about it just now, but if you guys caught that post I did over a week ago, we already figured out what it was and why it's doing what it's doing, right? And these are the things. If you're on top of it, get in early, stack that coin, make that money, right? For me, that's what it's about. Everybody has different goals and different reasonings behind why they're mining. It's another thing. Think of why you're mining, right? Why are you here? Why are you doing what you do? Is it purely just a hobby? You don't care? You just love this coin? You love the founder? You love the creator and you want to just support it? Then that's cool, right? If you're here to make money though, opportunities are there, but you gotta be in it, right? You're just sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, losing all this opportunity. Again, look at the thing with freaking Kyla, picking it up at $30 just a few weeks ago. 20x, guys. Like, it's, the opportunities are there, everything is there. It's up to you to take advantage of it, right? So just some stuff to think about, guys. I know it's been I don't know, it's weird to me because the overall sentiment is, oh, mining is boring, mining is dead, mining's not. To me, this has been way more exciting times since the ETH merge than ever. This is, to me, like, even as, well, the whole reason I started the channel, right? Everybody's crying about, oh, mining's dead, profitability's dead after the ETH merge. Like I mentioned back in those first videos I did, this has been the most fascinating time for mining for me, right? Way more action, way more interesting, way more new coins, way more things to discover. All these altcoin ASICs, there's been so much action going on. It's crazy, right? So a lot of it's going to be your perspective, right? You're going to be that negative Nancy, then life sucks, right? If you're looking for it, you want to get it, and it's been there. Make that money, right? Even if it's coin you're not going to hold long term, like I mentioned with Dynex, all the crap going on with it is not necessarily what I'm holding long term, but I'm making that money, right? And especially right now, it's an awesome coin to mine because it's freaking low power. Making that money, guys. Don't waste these opportunities. So many opportunities right now. Take advantage, right? So that's been for the most part, right? The other thing I was going to try to cover a little bit was like hardware prices, but it's pretty much been about the same. Not really much going on there. Even 3060 Ti's are still in the 220 to 240 range, which from a few months ago, like 3 months ago, it is a decent little dip, but for the most part, it's been hovering here. There have been the occasional deals that are like in the 200 range, right? But for the most part, it's been hovering here about 240. I think ultimately now, because of the profitability, it's going to probably stay where it's at. Is this the low? Maybe, maybe not, right? The one thing that's kind of lingering and people are kind of getting interested is with all this compute power stuff. And you guys follow me on Twitter. Did post up this article, which is pretty interesting, saying that the next GPU shortage might be because of AI, right? So kind of funny if it have this freaking GPU shortage because of AI versus crypto, right? Which, I mean, a lot of these, you know, new coins that are pumping are AI related, right? But my big thing with it is it doesn't necessarily have to be a proof of work coin for it to be AI, right? So like Dynex has their proof of use for work, Flux is going to have it, but you got to factor in that it doesn't necessarily have to be the case, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be on a blockchain, right? As we've seen with like Vast AI and a few others, or even other coins who are cryptos, right? But are not necessarily a proof of work crypto, but are going to offer these services, right? For example, like Render, who runs on Solana, but it's going to be based off compute power, right? So different things to think about. Is this going to be the case? Is it going to be crazy prices here pretty soon? Most likely not. Maybe in the future, maybe when things do pop off, they'll get more. But time will tell on that front, right? We'll see how things go there. It's going to be super profitable, like proof of use of work and stuff. Not going to really know for quite a while, right? Flux's thing isn't going to be live until end of year or Q1 next year. And that's just going to be the beginning of it, right? We don't really know necessarily how profitable it's going to be. We'll see how things go with Dynex, and we'll see, right? It's just going to be another avenue. Am I buying any proof of use for work hardware? No, right? Realistically, I'm going to wait till things are cheaper. Especially right now, Flux has that server case, which is like $2,000. But, and you guys who caught that other video where I was kind of commenting on it, there are cheap manufacturers making items already, right? We saw on Alibaba, there was a bunch already. They're making, I've seen server cases already for those motherboards that we were showing. So they're coming, right? So am I interested in that though? No, it's old hardware, right? Realistically, got to see if it's going to be worth it. Going to wait later on, right? We'll see. Time will tell on that front, but for the most part, hardware-wise, prices are about the same. Not really a whole lot going on there. Even on the high end, the 4090s are still in that same range. They haven't really gone down much. Some of the 4080s went down. They're like in the $1,000 range now, but again, it's already almost been a year that they've been out, so Most likely this Black Friday should see more price reductions. We'll see if a 4090 Ti comes out this holiday season, and maybe the OG 4090s will go down a bit, but for the most part too expensive. Just keeping what I got. So that's pretty much it though, guys. Again, the main theme, the whole thing, mine and hold. Pay your electric out of pocket, even if you got to downscale a bit more. And those are the guys who've been winning, right? Again, we've been seeing those charts. So much potential if you're doing that, right? If you can't do it, everybody has financial things going on. You got to assess your situation, right? Don't put yourself in a position where you're going in debt or do anything of that sort. Be smart about it, right? Think about what you can afford to invest. But just keep in mind, pretty good time, right? Again, as we've showed, a lot of profit-taking potential if you're on it, right? If you're sitting here slacking and crying on the sidelines, then things suck, right? But if you're being proactive, looking at things, looking at trends, looking at what's going on, a lot of money to be made. All right, guys, just wanted to give you that update. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys are doing. Are you guys have been doing the same thing? I know a lot of you guys have been commenting on Twitter and such that a lot of you guys are doing the same thing, right? So let me know in the comments. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.